Our emphasis is on relationship building to be a real family, not just a catchphrase. Now, this is something I believe, and you will hear this as the elders. We're going to be talking through exactly how we plan this out. But this much I want you to know for now. One thing I see very clearly about the way forward for 2018 is we really need to invest in doing relationships well. I'm not just talking about church relationships just for the sake of it. You will hear this phrase in literally every church. Oh, you got to have real relationships. Yeah, everybody knows we got to have real relationships. There are no fake ones. But how does this really work? If we do not get a plan, now this is just a tip. If you're someone who likes to make New Year resolutions, this is just a tip, and this is why it always happens. The problem is most New Year resolutions are simply intentions. An intention never gets done. A plan, however, that comes from an intention becomes something that you do. If you don't have a plan for how you're going to do something, you're not going to do it, plain and simple. So I can talk to you about relationships, and you say, yeah, amen. And then nothing gets done. So what I'm saying is, the reason we are changing the way we do life groups is not because we don't like to teach the Bible. Because there is going to be a lot of teaching of the Bible. Did you get that? But life groups is not that place. Okay, have you heard it clearly? Life groups is not a Bible teaching time. Sure, sometimes there might be the occasional time to teach the Bible. But the focus has to be building proper biblical relationships. If you and I do not develop a certain amount of trust with each other to speak into one another's lives, guess what? Your teaching is landing nowhere. And that is something that we want to grow as a church. So if I really want to put something as a target for you to work with, personally as a person, to say, I'm going to invite someone, say once a month, either to coffee. If I'm someone who's freaked out at having people in my home, fine, don't meet them at home. Go out and meet them. But meet with someone within the church and say, I want to hear what God's doing with you. And I'm not going to try and have a Bible study with you. First, get to know the person. And you will find that as we start to add the element of Bible teaching, it really becomes effective. The problem is we're trying to do everything and do nothing. That's where a lot of church activity goes flat. Is we try to do everything and cram it into one gathering, and then nothing gets done. Everyone just comes, shows up, and goes away. So what is the focus of our morning meetings here on Sunday? To glorify Jesus and to receive a heart that says, I'm for you. So even though you are receiving the teaching of the Word, your main emphasis, if you're a believer right now who's come to a church meeting on a Sunday morning, what is your focus? Is it to acquire the good teaching of the Word? That is an extension of giving yourself completely to Him. Does that make sense? So the more we define the things that we are seeking to do, the more you will be deliberate about how you're going to go about it. So when the teaching comes, your heart is ready to, like a ravenous person, you will lay a hold of it and say, that's for me. Why? Because I need to glorify God through receiving the seed of the Word, and I want to respond to it. I want to glorify God. I'm just going to be a few more minutes, okay? And I really want to pause on that for a second more, because I think it's important that we understand that I'm not just talking about relationships so that we kind of start to like each other more. But it is fundamental. Like if you look on either side, there are certain things that God has called each one in this church to do, And there are certain things that He's called us together to do. And none of that happens if you do not have an each one mentality. If you think the only each one that you need to listen to in this church is the pastor, or that worship leader, or that life group leader, or whatever it is, you have your favorite person that you say, I'm going to receive from that person. Everyone else, they're chopped liver. That's not how it works in the church of God. So we're not just trying to be cute and trying to be a nicer looking club. Oh, this is what it's really about. You know, you feel welcome home, come to family. We use all these big words like as if we're some big Italian thing. And we're not trying to force fit a cultural ideal into something just so that you feel more cozy. This is fundamental to us fulfilling this part of our mission. If we are going to be a people who grow, we have to grow with each one. So that means you don't grow just by teaching. Now do you see why I'm taking the gas off us just talking about teaching being the way you grow? Is teaching less important?
No.
No. It is extremely important. Extremely. I will not minimize that for a second, but do you understand what I'm trying to hit on here? If we think that relationships are less important, you will lose the life of the church and become a religious enterprise. You will wait for your 40 minutes that you think, oh, I'm going to get some word. Church meetings will become the best part of your week. And when it's not, you have to turn to Sirius Radio or something. I'm talking about, this is what Christian life has become, friends. When someone is in need, someone is struggling in their faith, nobody cares. See you on Sunday. How do we get to become churches like that? I'm thankful that our church is not like that. But I'm saying we need to grow even more. There are some things that will fall through our fingers. And if I'm the only one watching out for that, or the elders are the only ones watching out for that, guess what? People will fall through our fingers. But if we are a family in the true sense of the word, we will watch out for one another. And we actually miss one another. You're not looking for church attendance. Oh, we missed you at church on Sunday. To be honest, that's not what concerns me. The issue is this person being fed? Is this person being nurtured? And is it something that we all see? Or is it just something the pastors need to see?